Okay, see, here we are. It's just a couple minutes later. I am still fiddling with this lighting. This is the beginning of my attempt to document some readings with the Gordy setup. Just the Gordy setup versus something conventional. And that's all, because there's been so many arguments, and I figured while I'm setting this up, I'm going to go ahead and try to explain where I'm coming from and why. The lighting thing I keep whining about simply because I whine when I'm deficient. I don't honestly know what my issues are, but issues it is that I have. So I'm going to take a picture of this barrel shank. And see, this phone's having a little lighting issue too. I have to go with something that... Surely I have another phone here somewhere. Okay, so let's see what this guy does. I like to take a picture of each of these for my own records, just so it helps me remember and tie my camera. Hey, look at that. Helps me tie my records together. Wow. See, these modern cameras, it's one thing I'll give these card phones. They have got cameras like you read about. There's no way I can get a picture of that. Oh man, it can see better than I can. How cool is that? Okay, there we go. Sorry to bore you with that, but I figured I would go ahead and I started setting my goozers in here, and I figured I would do the last couple of goozers while you're watching, just because this is an interesting way to hold a barrel. Now, I'm holding on the taper because I can. No, I'm holding on the taper. Basically what's happened is one of my latest actions that I'm messing with, I'm going to have to try to learn how to make it shoot, is something called, let me try this again, called a Bat Nouveau. And I've had some challenges with it. It's not as easy as some for me. One of the biggest problems I've had is that I had trouble holding the action. It's very smooth. It's got a crap scope-based system on top, just 2 holes and 2 holes, like a stinking Remington. So I've got to figure out, I basically forevermore affixed the bases to the top of the action, which means that I have to use either an internal action wrench that goes inside and works off of the inner surfaces of the action, big long hanky thing like reaching all the way across your engine bay to take a torque reading, and I don't really, it doesn't work so great to me. So long story short is I made an action wrench for this thing, and it's worked so far, but I decided, hey, this is a great platform for me to play with the barrel nut system. So I went out and built 3 I don't have a conventional barrel for this thing yet. I took one of the old ones and chased the threads out. I think that was actually this one. That's why the threads have got that. If you'll notice in there, there's a woo woo woo. This might not even be it. Had them all threaded for Mikey Zell's tuner, because that's a standard for me. Again, there's a name that I'm going to throw out there just because when I've got something that I use as a standard today, I have no problem. Now, Mike might call me and say, hey Al, would you quit using my name on your retard channel? And I will. But that aside, this one, but here's, you can see the problem. There's no shoulder left in there. Maybe that's why I cut it. Anyway, the reason I'm going on the taper here is I want to take this piece right here that I'm whacking off, which is the lapping bell, which I'll probably show. These videos will go on and on and on. And then I'm going to turn it to a 0.9 size. And then I'm going to bore a hole in it, and I'm going to make a pusher tool for threading barrels out of it. I'm not going to do that all now. But I'm saying, I just figured once it's in here, I can kill a few birds with this stone. I want to turn it to 0.9, bore it to whatever diameter of This is my pusher. This is the pusher that I use, and it shouldn't be down here, and I'm gonna close the lid on my, I'll just show you how I lube my reamers. I keep it right here in this bucket of the solvent that I choose to use, the oil that I choose to use right now. Take it out, all juicied up, use it. That was stupid that I dipped it. It was drained out. Overnight when I leave it like that, that's why I left it in there. So it would drain off clean, so I could put it away. And I just, take a bow folks, because I just screwed up for you. Okay, so I got a goozy, juicy reamer here. I gotta find something to put it in. We're gonna take the bag for the pusher tool that I'm gonna build. My pusher tool, I've never done this before, so it's gonna all be brand new, but I'm gonna build a pusher tool. Boy, this is interesting. I can't even get the bag off it. This might be a bag I will never be able to salvage. So, this tool is goes in the tailstock of the lathe. Basically, it's this kind of a thing. It goes in the tailstock of the lathe. I'm going to use a bunch of that right there. The chunk I'm going to cut off is actually going to be used to make maybe an upgraded one of these. I'll tell you all that to tell you this. I just was looking for a place to put my greasy reamer that you guys messed up for me, because I value these like I value my big toe, but I don't want to dribble and goozy all over. There, I found a safe place where I'm not going to drop a bulldozer on it. So, back to what I was doing. I'm going to use the end of this when I cut the lapping bell. I've got 70 of them up in there, and buckets of them. I don't know how many I have, but there's a bunch anyway. But this will just be already in the lathe. It'll already be trued up. I can cram a drill in there, burn it out, turn the outside, chop it off, part it off, and get the piece that I want to make the tool holder out of. So all of these things are going to happen, but in the meantime, I'm just going to dial this thing in, and we're going to Gordy it up, and you're going to have to watch. No, you don't have to watch. You can just walk away. Just walk away. How hard is that? Click somewhere else, you silly git. Let's see here. So, down we go. Let's get this thing roughed in between some centros here. Hey, I'm getting good at this camera thing. I can show you where it went in, just how good I am here. Loosen like a mother. Whoop. Righty-tighty. What is this? Oh, it's going over the paper. Not used to that thing having that weird extra bounce in it, folks. As it comes off the paper. Why in the world did I do that? I'm trying to loosen. Loosen, you silly. Okay. Well, I might have to peel the paper just to get close. I didn't realize how thick that was. I just realized that's a double thickness sticker. They must have decided that they had rifled it once at this is a 14 twist. They must have decided to change it. Maybe it used to be a 7 twist. No. Got 2 stickers on it for whatever reason. So that sticker is being the bane of my existence. But I think that's close enough to get the Gordy in there. And I'm going to show... Oh, hell, I'll do this. My new things out here. I'll loosen the outboard side, see if it gets readings. There she pivots. There she blows, matey. There's the whole pivoting. Now whether there's lag, whether I'm bending There just isn't. It's pretty apparent when you've got the tactility. I'm going to go to the outside for a second and eyeball this thing back to center. I did move it up and down a lot. Okay, you know what, I'm just going to set it. I'm going to dial this end in. One of these days I'll get me some editorial software and you at least won't have to watch all this crap. But at this point I just don't. So while I'm off here wandering around in the confines of the back room, I'll try to talk really loud so it still shows up on camera. Okay. Takes a little minute longer than it has in the past because I'm actually dialing it with a test indicator. I reinstalled I've got a Mitutoyo back here that I use for some other stuff. It's way more than is needed to find the high and low on a barrel, but there are plenty of other reasons why. Plenty of other work to be done out here. The problem is using a test indicator of this magnitude, as any of you machinists can attest. The problem is the simple fact that when I get down to where I'm out of the gross indications, I have to keep resetting it because it only has about 5/1000ths of resolution, I don't know, full swing. So as I'm coming in from 100 thou out, it was never 100 thou out, but it was 50 thou out from eyeballing into the cat's head. So as I'm coming in now, I have to reset the test indicator a few times, because just as I dial down, I die right off the reading. Some of you will know what that means. The rest of you, go get a lathe. I'll tell you one thing, a while back, I mentioned the Matthews lathes, and I've mentioned several times how I like this one, right? But one of the things I'm finding out that I don't like about this one is the oiling system. So, just a free bit of advice to any of you that are maybe going to be in the market for a lathe. Okay. Never looked at the Matthews to know how it is, but the oiling system on this thing is kind of kludgy and archaic. It's got these little, they're all dead now. I needed to screw them out and put, I don't know, put what in them, but there's a little peepy-poppy lever in there that you're supposed to depress to get oil in, and they get filled up with chips and stuff. So there's a complaint about this Grizzly 4003G is that I think the oiling system is retarded. Okay, so we're back to where now I can stick a Gordy rod in there. So let us check some bushes. I'll take my evens rack here and just grab a bush. 2, 3, 6, 8. I don't know how many times that 6mm rod's been dropped. At least that time it landed on the back end, so it's not hurt. But it's a rugged piece of kit. It's not some fragile little no good. My leaky Ford can. I quit owning anything Ford years ago, but this is actually a kind of a keepsake, a memento of my father-in-law, who was early in industry. Old, ancient Ford can. The petite on there is not fake. But it's leaking all over my door. I put modern oil in and it couldn't handle it, I guess. Because it is literally Man, if I put Croyle in, it would probably turn into a fountain. Like we could invent perpetual motion. Okay, so I said that out loud for a reason. 2, 3, 6, 8 is too small. Click. Two, 3, 7, 2. This is a Bartlein and it's marked 237 to 243. Okay, so 2372 goes into the lapping bell 1/2 inch. Let's play with this. Looks like I'm going to have to go to the odd sizes. 4 barely goes in. There's a taper of the lapping bell, not that it matters. 6 shouldn't even go in. I'm going to have to go get another rack. 6, utter refusal. So, now this rack is easy because it's some stuff that I have memorized. I'm going to set this back aside and now I'm going to have to start writing them down on my thing off camera. So, maybe when I find it I'll give you a yousel, but I'm going to have to put my head bone back in gear before I do a stupid. Yeah, we're coming at it from the bottom side now. Now! .237, just so you know, 237 is wicked loose. So coming back up 234. I'm sorry, that was not 237. Check my notes here. That was 2369. I swear, the lapping bell on this guy is only about that long. 237. It's between two. I've always felt my 2369 is a little. It's 237, regardless of what I'm trying to say here. Well, if I started crooked before, what when I said 237? I got down to 237. Well, Bartlein. Bartlein, that's a badass barrel. Now I'm going to go in and nipping this thing just by the ticky tail end. very lappity flappity. We're going to go through a setup here just because I have some moves I want to go through so I don't do something extremely stupid like being so far out of whack that I start scrubbing. I have done that. One time I was trying to show somebody, which is a lot worse even than videotaping. And I went tick, tick, tick around here, and I was getting goofy readings, and it was because I somehow got a barrel jacked in there so crooked, and there's not that much clearance on the rod, that it was actually scrubbing the lands here a little bit. So, I'm about out of tape. Let me get my stuff out here. Get some instrumentation going so you don't have to wait while I go get it out of the rack.